5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I got some wrecking to do. I'll meet you at the finish line.
No, wait! Fix it! Get behind me! I'm not through with you yet. Up we go! Oh, look at that, it's your little friend. Let's watch us die together, shall we?
No!
It's game over for both of you.
No. Just for me. I'm bad, and that's good. I will never be good, and that's not bad. There's no one I'd rather be than me.
Why are you going into the law? No, yes, no, yeah, go into the law.
Hey, Squatch. Hey, DJ. Hi. No, it is not a game stream tonight. On a related note, oh boy. Shit. Give me a second, guys. All right, let's try that shit again. DJ, in answer to your question, that is pretty close to the end of the hell is the name of that film? Wreck-It Ralph. Ralph makes a decision that he's going to sacrifice himself to save Vanellope and the entire candy world that she lives in. Okay, we're going to back up here just for a second so that we can make sure everything got in. Well, everything that's important. We're back. We're back. So, for some reason, my entire bottom bar went away, so I can switch screens that I was sharing, which doesn't make sense at all. I don't know what the hell that was all about, guys. All right. Y'all got me at kind of a disadvantage this week because I don't actually have anything particularly new this week. Shit. Also, what the hell? Also, my phone is jamming up on me, and I don't know why. There we go. All right. I think that's about as caught up as I'm going to get in regards to those for the moment. Shit. All right. Listen, nobody on the internet is making you respond to them. All right. You're on Facebook or Twitter, Fascist Book or Twitter or whatever. You see something, you love it, you hate it, something in between, whatever. Nobody is forcing you to respond to it. All right. There's no law that says you must respond to every shit post or even intelligent comment on the internet. It's not a requirement. Now, if you do and somebody responds to you, nobody made them respond to you. All right. You're going to have to accept the fact that, yes, you put something out there, somebody's going to reply to it. But you can still say, you know what? Nobody made you reply to this, you stupid little shit. So what's your problem? I'm just saying, I might be dealing with that problem right now. Obviously, I can't. What the hell? I can't discuss specifics for a little bit because, all I have is his real name. I saw something on Facebook about, you know what? I don't give a shit what it was about. It's not important. I responded to it, and basically I called it out as a lie. As far as I'm concerned, that was actually the end of the subject. But this little shit couldn't let it go. Give me just a half a second, folks. All right, sorry about that. It was actually nothing after all. Nobody's making you reply. So don't pretend like because something is out there, you had to reply to it. It's not a requirement in your life. Oh, excuse me. Okay. If anybody out there can fluently speak Russian, there is a video that I'd like to see interpreted. It's all in Russian, and I got the really, really strong impression that it's a Russian conscript being trained on the AK-47. I heard the word suka. Now I know what that word means. Not as bad as hajoka or skin job, but I know what suka means. It's not hard to put two and two together. And the instructor then reaches down, manipulates the gun a little bit. Everything goes fine from there until he realizes the clip isn't actually in the gun. I got the feeling that this is a very bad training day. But I'd really like to know, what did he actually say? Yeah, just a minor curiosity question. All right. There is a little bit of actual news for this week related to the Second Amendment. God, I hate this. I want you guys to know just how much I hate reporting this. If there was anything else in the world I could report, I would be doing that instead because I really, really hate the people behind it. But the bump stock ban may actually be dead. FPF. Oh, I hate myself for talking about this, but FPF has argued in court successfully the bump stock ban was illegal. By the way, the bump stock ban has been around more than 4 years now, so I'm very, very surprised that this fight has actually been successfully brought forward. I'm surprised because Trump actually initiated the bump stock ban. All right. Biden took over. That coup is all it really was, but whatever. He's in office. He hates guns. He hates guns. He hates you having guns. Rather, don't jump my shit yet. So I'm really surprised that with both of them coming to the same final conclusion, that this thing has actually been allowed to move forward the way it has. And apparently the court has ruled that no, this ban was never legal, and ATF has to go away. Now, this ban doesn't affect me one way or the other. I've only ever had my hands on 2 bump stocks. I had one for about a week, and we just got it for demonstration purposes and destruction testing. That's it. We wanted to see what the fuck is this thing that everybody's talking about all of a sudden. Brent already knew. He already understood it. I didn't. So I actually demonstrated. I put it on my gun. I demonstrated what it was. And then we ran it until it failed to continue to operate properly. It got jammed in the forward position because the plastic wore out. Okay. Polycarbonate wore out. And you know what? When you put 1,000 rounds through a gun basically at once, something's going to go wrong. Well, something went wrong. Would it still be working today at 10,000 rounds if I'd only put a couple hundred through at a time? Maybe. We weren't doing that. We were destruction testing it. Well, we destroyed it. It's gone now. Macy had been asking what that was. I am trying to temporarily acquire a bump stock. I know somebody who has one. And if I can get it, I'm actually going to break it down and show what's going on here and why. In the meantime, you might want to consider doing what you have to do in the meantime. I want to point something out. Bump stocks do not appear in Dataslog in any way, shape, or form. They're not there. There's a reason for that. Now, there were, I think, 5 types of bump stocks. 2 of them were ruled machine guns, which would be the wrong word, but okay, by the ATF at the time because they returned the gun to battery on their own. The others were, well, let me rephrase it. 2 were fine. They do not return the gun to battery on their own. The others were not. They do return the gun to battery. The 2 that were fine, well, I had one of those. The others, I'm okay with those being restricted. They return the gun to battery on their own. All right, that's automatic. It really is. It automatically returns the gun to a shooting condition. How many ways is there to explain this without having a 45-page long definition? I'm not doing that, right? I know you're not that stupid. Let me rephrase that. I know there are people out there that actually are that stupid. I want to believe my followers are not. Please, please don't prove me wrong. Okay. I'm going to touch on something. I'm going to be brief about it. Because this has Warsaw Patriot very, very upset and concerned. And he's not wrong. It is a little outside of mandatory carry. Just a little bit, not a lot. What's going on in Ukraine and starting to push over into Poland right now. All right. That part of the world, Eastern Europe. Even after the Enlightenment, massacres of the survivors of invasions was the norm right up until at least the 1980s, right? If you're not familiar with the Holodomor, buckle your shit up, right? That was a massacre of around 4 million Ukrainians under Stalin by starving them all to death. Stalin took every last bit of grain. He also had homes searched for cooking equipment and anything of value to be put to communal purpose, right? But before he did any of that, he told the Russian people, which Ukraine was part of Russia at this point, to turn in their guns, that they didn't need them anymore. Yeah. When Russia went into Poland to fight Germany in World War II, the first thing they did was round up civilians and Polish army veterans who had surrendered during the war and massacred them. Now, technically, the civilian massacre was the provable one. Let me rephrase this. The one that is absolutely proven to have happened, don't waste my time, is when Stalin told Polish resistance to rise up against the Germans and told the Polish communists to sit down and let the other side fight. The non-communist Poles were absolutely fucking annihilated. Like, roughly 1% survived. We love you, Susan. You cunt. Anyway, disarmed populace, let me rephrase that. Armed populaces don't get massacred. I'm kind of at this point a little bit confused why it is that the various people who are facing off with Russia haven't been trying to revise their national governments. See, not all of them have a constitution. Ukraine does not have a constitution that I'm aware of. Poland does not have a constitution that I'm aware of. Germany does, but I'm not sure what's in it. All right. I'll be honest about that. Why have the people of these countries not gone marching into the capital? Of course, Ukraine has an excuse right now. This moment has an excuse. But why have the people not gone into marching into their national capital and demanded something like the Second Amendment? Just, what are you people waiting for? If you're waiting for Ukraine to happen to you, well, then it'll be too late. Now, I know support for Ukraine is not a popular opinion in certain circles these days. You know what? Fuck you. I understand. For those of you who are rabidly pro-Ukrainian, fuck you. And for those of you that are rabidly anti-Ukrainian, well, fuck you too. For those of you that are like, yes, I support one side over the other, but you're being honest about it, okay. Well, that's a pretty fucking short list, right? And for those of you that do not like Ukraine in any way, shape, or form, you know what? Fuck you, I get it. But it's going to take another 3 generations. Let me rephrase that. At this point, it's probably going to take closer to 5 generations to overhaul that country because of what's going on now. Congratulations. If you wanted a corrupt Ukraine for the next 150 years, well, that was exactly the way to get what you wanted. Most of my followers are Americans. Most of my American followers are not aware of the fact that the American Revolution was not terribly popular with the colonials. 1/3 of the population wanted to stay with Britain. 1/3 of the population did not care one way or the other. They just wanted this bullshit over. They would have shot at both sides just as easily. And only 1/3 of the colonials actually wanted the Brits gone. Excuse me. It was that close. It would have only taken one massacre to turn that central third against one side or the other. Yeah, it was actually that close. Now, here we are with Wagner Group threatening to invade Poland all on their own. Supposedly, all on their own. I don't know what the Polish people are waiting for, but it's well past time for you to get off your asses and start making some unreasonable and inexplicable demands. They're completely reasonable, completely explicable, and entirely appropriate considering the circumstances. Don't stop sitting there thinking this is going to happen to somebody else. It's happening to you now. Again. And do not think that somebody's coming to come in to rescue you, because I'm watching what Americans are doing and I'm thinking there's no way they're going to do anything about this. That's not that alcohol talking. That's me tamping it down for the last 2 months. This is me calming down a little bit. All right. Real quick. All right, good. Everything's working fine. Excellent. All right, we're actually only 20 minutes in. Hey, Waspo's just talking about you. You might want to back up about 5 minutes, play at 2 times speed, and get caught up. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just making sure I got everything. Oh, shit. I got a big mistake, too. What do you know? I was supposed to have a different... Oh, no. That's the right one. Okay, good. All right. I'm going to move on to... I'm going to move on to Data Slab Act. I'm going to stop this screen and present. By the way, you can see which side I take. Oops, wrong one. There we go. Yes, I'm aware that it's sharing a screen. Thank you. All right. This week was supposed to be Title IV, Penalties. Now you can see that there's a big yellow blob in there. But yeah, that's because there's a change. All right, Section 4. Any person who willfully ignores any part of this act may be, upon first violation, fined not more than $100. Upon second and subsequent violations, $500. Upon fourth and subsequent violations, incarcerated not more than 23 months and 28 days, and $1,000 fine. This includes failure to carry as required, carrying as prohibited, and use of terminology contrary to this act by anyone in a professional capacity. Failure to carry at the discretion of a court may be waived upon a payment of a $10 fine, not more than 3 times. All right, stop there because that's what it used to only read. Use of terminology contrary to this act by anyone in a professional capacity. If you're being paid or in any way, if you are being paid in any way because of your supposed technical knowledge or your professional knowledge or anything else, and you use assault weapon to describe something that's not an assault weapon, or machine gun to describe something that's not a machine gun, you're fucked. Now, this is about reporters and cops mostly. All right, well, and members of Congress who will use those terms as terror words. All right. They say these to terrorize you. That's it. No, you don't get to do that anymore. You don't get to yell fire in a theater where there is, in fact, no fire. It's that simple. Okay. Failure to carry at the discretion of a court may be waived upon payment of a $10 fine, not more than 3 times. It's going to happen. Somebody's going to forget their gun at home. They were in a hurry to get out this morning. They got caught. It's probably the 100th time they've done it. Cop writes the ticket. You show up to the judge and say, Your Honor, this is my first time. I'm sorry, I forgot. Judge says, okay, $10 fine. And it is a fine. And it is recorded. You did this, but you got the penalties exemption, the less than 3 times. Now, I can easily see that this is going to become a matter of somebody does it 100 times. They get caught 50 times. They appear in front of 30 different judges, and none of them happen to catch you doing it 3 times. They just don't catch it. They don't notice. I'm not going to sit here and micromanage every fucking judge on earth. All right? It's not worth my time. It's not worth your time. They didn't catch you 3 times. You managed to slip through many, many more times. Great. Good for you. I'm not going to make an issue of it. But if it happens a 4th time and the judge lets you get away with it that 4th time, you're both in trouble. All right. Continuing on. A judge who, upon probable cause, believes an exemption has been applied for under false pretenses may fine all involved parties not more than $2,000 and incarcerate them not more than 720 days, in addition to any fines and incarceration for other underlying crimes. All right. If I sign a conscientious objector statement for you, and I'm doing it under false pretenses. You give me $50, I'll sign I'll sign your conscientious objector letter. Oh yeah, don't worry about it. This is under oath, by the way. Well, this judge has 200 conscientious objector letters just from me. Gee, I wonder if something's going on here. Now, there's a couple of people I've seen on the channel. One in particular has me convinced that yes, she is a conscientious objector. She cannot kill people. Okay, I would sign that conscientious objector letter. Doesn't mean I'd sign for pepper spray, mace, brass knuckles, a million other things. But you know what? If it's, I would sign for a gun and certain other deadly weapons for her. Your Honor, Miss M, future, or the next ex Mrs. Carey, someday, is in fact a conscientious objector. She has a moral objection to taking life. And I ask you to exempt her from any deadly weapon. Okay. She's exempt from carrying a deadly weapon. She's never said anything about objection to pepper spray, mace, that sort of thing. I can't go there. I can't go there for her. All right. You'll see that the fines here and the fees here are, or the fines and incarceration here can be pretty serious, but it's not felony. It comes just up to that line. You cannot felony out. You cannot actually commit a crime under Dowslav that becomes a felony. So now you have your exemption, don't you? No. That's not how it works. You want to commit a felony to get out of it? Fine. Go rob a bank. Go rob a liquor store. Go commit a real felony. Don't try to use the very law that you're trying to get out of to get out of the law. It's not going to work. Yeah. Okay. Now, oops. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. I don't think it's actually there. It is not. Oh, well, some of it is. All right, this is from Section 3, General Definitions. You see that mark out there. Autocannon, any machine gun of to be determined. A 50 cal is not actually that powerful after all that a human being cannot handle it. I want to point to CN Arsenal for my proof. And I wish I thought to have that ready. May, I believe she's Athias' wife, actually has a video of herself shooting a tank Guevara, which is actually bigger than the 50 cal by an order of almost 10%. And yes, as she's watching it, you can see she's really feeling it. All right, that's a lot of gun. That is a whole lot of gun. I don't know if I could handle that. But she is handling it. Hold up. If an even bigger gun can be handled, and that's not the biggest woman I've ever seen by any stretch of the imagination, then maybe we need to reconsider that number. All right. Oh, good. There's general firearm. Any firearm that existed before the adoption of this amendment. Actually, what this version doesn't show you, any firearm that existed before the adoption of this amendment, that includes chemical, energy, and combination. Okay, so all currently existing firearm types, mechanisms are covered. All currently existing lasers, energy weapons, phasers, blasters, whatever you want to call them, are covered. Combination. That's actually a reference to railguns. Railgun is a gun that uses electromagnets to propel a projectile at very high velocity. Yes, railguns are also covered. That particular section is actually going to need some work. I'd appreciate any feedback from anybody that can help me clarify that verbiage. Okay. So those are the updates there. Oh, hi, Buckle. Sorry, I was distracted. I am going to bring the chat back up so that I can get caught up for one thing. Because as you guys could see, I was a little distracted for a moment. Okay, DJ, would you please explain the willingly part? It makes me curious about the contrast of unwillingness. I assume he's referring to somebody who is applying for a exemption under false pretenses. And by the way, that false pretenses clause also applies to a later clause about third-party exemptions. So don't go and fucking file against your ex just because you hate her guts. You're going to be in trouble, not her. She's not going to get her guns taken away. You might get yours taken away. So don't try that shit. All right. Willingly, I mean, you do it, you know what you're doing, and you're willingly participate. It's one thing if you get lied to. All right. I have been lied to even about this subject. I don't want to get into that too much right now. But if you know they're lying, then you're willingly participating. So I'm not exactly sure the question. Would it be the bad actor's representation or say display of something, publication of, I don't know, creates that clause? Well, yeah, actually, this is kind of a clumsily worded one, DJ. This is actually a very important question. If you in any way present information that you know is not true, and more importantly, if you use terminology that you know is not true, you fucked yourself. You're on your own. What are the penalties for losing those bad actors? I'm not sure. DJ, I'm about to drag your ass back here and make you ask the question yourself. Squatch, I will see you tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, day after. Friday. Hi, Buckle. Long time no see. All right, DJ, I hope I answered your question. I don't think I did, though. So stick around to the end of the stream, bud. I might bring you back here to ask more questions. All right. We're only at 36 minutes, and I know Macy said he was going to try to be here, but he's still on his way home. And he will be for about another hour and 15 minutes. How do I drag this out an hour and 15 minutes? Wish me luck. All right. You know what? I'm going to talk about the third-party exemptions. I'm just going to talk about it. I'm not going to read it. I don't have it up on deck. Third-party exemption is if you are not in a position to be able to apply for your exemption, or you are in a position but not willing because of the type of exemption you are getting. A third party can apply for you. Well, thank you, DJ. DJ, are you on Discord? I think you are. Because we could talk there a lot later. Actually, I'm betting he's getting ready for Chris from the 7:30. DJ, you got a wrenchy. Can you drop a link for Chris or Jamie? I don't care which. Oh, for fuck's sake. There we go. All right. Where was I? Third-party exemptions. You are not, either you're unwilling or unable to apply for your exemption. Okay. You know, as somebody who's in a coma, all right, is unable to apply for their exemption. Somebody who's retarded, cannot feed themselves, cannot clothe themselves, cannot bathe themselves, right, is unable to apply for their exemption. Somebody who's gotten a violent political protester, or getting, rather, a violent political protester exemption, probably not willing to apply for their own exemption. I can't see that happening. Maybe you guys can, but yeah, it doesn't strike me as the most realistic scenario. All right. A third party steps in and says, Your Honor, we're applying for an exemption for this person because he can't even stand on his own. He's the only thing he can do entirely on his own is breathe. And the judge is looking down from the bench saying, you know what? I see that. I still need some documentation to that effect. Your Honor, here's the documentation. So, diagnosed as severe retardation at 6 weeks old. Okay. All right. This person is exempt. Now, somebody who tries to abuse that, apply a exemption, make an application for an exemption for a third party, knowing that it's a false application, and the judge has a reason to believe that this is a fraudulent application, now you're in trouble. I've said so many times, I got 2 ex-wives, and they both hate me, right? I could really imagine that my first ex-wife would try to apply for a exemption for me because of the PTSD. I could imagine my second wife would try it, or at least have fantasies about it. I don't think she would actually carry it out because she knows I know about the lie. Just saying, in case you're watching, dear, you know I know about that lie. Now, if I tried to apply for an exemption for her, or for one of them, I'd also be in trouble. Let me rephrase that. My second wife does not have anything that I could identify as grounds for an exemption. No felonies, no drug history after 16 years of age. Y'all know what I mean, all right? Done it too. Not in a position to judge that. No mental health conditions that would prevent her from understanding right from legal from illegal, generally right from wrong. Sometimes right from wrong can be a little nebulous. You know what I mean? Oh, you walk into a situation, it looks one way, and it's not that way. And by the time you realize what it isn't, or what it really is, some mistakes and judgments have been made. It does happen. Expectation control there, folks. Just saying. But anyway, yeah, I cannot imagine my second wife would be eligible for an exemption other than possibly conscientious, which we'll talk about that when we get around to exemptions. My first wife actually does have a drug history. I could apply for an exemption for her. Now, I have not talked to my first wife in, well, okay, this is 2023, 16, 17, at least a half a decade. The last time I spoke to my first ex-wife was at least a half a decade ago. At that point, she was clean and sober again. So, I mean, I could testify, yes, she's had a drug history and off and on for, I'm in my mid-40s, so 30-ish years now. But that's it. That's all I could do is say, yes, Your Honor. You know, I had the marriage annulled because she walked out on me because she wanted to go get high. We love you, Susan. DJ, if you're still out there, can you drop a link to Chris's stream? Okay. If I were to make those applications on either of my ex-wives, I would be the one in trouble. They would eventually walk away from this with absolutely nothing. All right? It wouldn't affect them at all. The most it would be is a very, very long and serious inconvenience while they're in and out of court fighting this false exemption. A judge who believes that an exemption has been made under false pretenses, right? I also could see that some people might try to make a third-party exemption against their buddy Jack, who wants to get out, right? So they say Jack is not sane. Yeah, he sees people that aren't there, hears voices that aren't real. He talks to himself. He this, he that. He's something else. Jack then turns around and says, Tom, while he's not technically retarded, has absolutely zero good judgment. He once pointed a gun at me and said, bang, Your Honor. He thought it was a joke. Okay. Tom is obviously mentally incompetent. Yeah, mentally incompetent. Tom turns around and says that you have a drug problem. Your Honor, he has a drug problem. He's not in treatment. He smokes weed every single day. And I am asking that you give him a permanent drug addict exemption. The judge sees this little triangle going on and he says, oh, no. All three of you come here. I want to talk to you. Now, there will be people that get away with that. It will happen. That is unfortunate. There will be people that get away with it. But if the judge catches you doing it, kiss basically your entire life as you knew it goodbye. You're going to lose your job. You're going to have all these fines and fees. Because remember that fine is just the tip of the iceberg. There's all kinds of, first of all, any underlying criminal act, filing or making a false sworn statement, which is the same as perjury. Contempt of court. If the judge wants to throw contempt of court at you, what are you going to do? You were contemptuous of the court. You lied to the judge, right? You tried to treat the judge like he was a fucking retard, and he caught you doing it. That's pretty arrogant of you. What else? You know what? I'll leave it to the judges to decide how far they want to take that shit. Simple fact of the matter is, in addition to any other underlying crimes, now you got the 2,000 because you did this specifically. You got any other fines and court fees and anything else, court costs, all these other things. You could be looking at $20,000, $30,000 eventually that you're going to have to pay. When I got arrested, I was looking. They tried to blackmail me into taking a plea bargain for a misdemeanor, but a serious misdemeanor. They threatened me with a felony. Now, I knew this felony would not hold up the moment it got in front of the jury. The jury would laugh the judge right out of his own courtroom for allowing this to get that far. The district attorney in question would probably have had to explain very, very carefully to the Bar Association why it is he should be allowed to keep his license. Oh, yeah, I can go there. I only took it because they agreed to drop all charges against my co-defendant. Seriously, that was my only reason, right? Fuck you telling me felony. Are you stupid? I almost said that. Maybe I did ask him if he was stupid. I can't look you all in the eye and say, no, I didn't say that. I might have asked him if he was stupid. They agreed to drop all charges against my code. Fuck, you know what? Give me the $300 fine, and I'm out of here. And she's out of my life. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Okay. Sorry, guys. I got a little distracted rambling like that. Oh. Now, what else? Where else could I go? See, kind of, guys, I'm killing a little bit of time until Macy can get here. So if you got a question, go ahead and ask. That's the whole purpose of this stream, is to give people a chance to ask these questions. Thank you, Buckle. Oh, Buckle Bunny, were you aware that Drew's got a new channel? He's got a new channel. I haven't seen you there, so I thought maybe you didn't know. Anyway. All right. Going over some of the previous lists. First of all, this bullshit going on right now in Eastern Europe, I can see as being the first step towards the European countries finally telling their governments, hey, we want something like the American Second Amendment, and if you don't do it, we're going to possibly Ceausescu you. We're going to possibly Ceausescu you. And Buckle, I did see that. I'm actually going to get you the link instead of try and tell you. Oh, it'd be so much easier that way. Living histories miss. There we go. There we go. Oh, damn it. Whatever. I got what I wanted. There it goes. That link should work for you. Took me a moment. Quite welcome. Yeah, I can see that the other European countries, especially the Eastern ones, are going to tell their government, do this or else. All right, and I'm old enough to, fuck all y'all, I'm old enough to remember what Checkpoint Charlie really means. Oh, yeah, Carrie's that old. Not only am I that old, I'm old enough to understand that this was actually very much a real thing. Once you cross Checkpoint Charlie, everything else it's all over. Whatever nightmare you're leaving behind you, it's over now. Right? Now, some of these young kids simply aren't old enough to understand that Checkpoint Charlie was a really fucking real thing to us. Stasi was a real thing for us when we were kids. Well, I know Squatch. I'm like 2 or 3 months older than Squatch, and I know he's old enough to remember that. Boa, who's not here today, is old enough to remember Checkpoint Charlie, right? So we're also old enough to remember when Romania, when Ceausescu was executed. We're old enough to remember when the Berlin Wall fell. I'm old enough to remember thinking, there's no way the Russians are going to tolerate this. There was going to be a massacre. It was coming. And then it didn't happen. Oh. Yeah, I don't get to catch his streams either, Buckle. I think yes here, folks, means she's old enough to remember that, which is a little bit of a surprise to me. She thinks she's older than me. Okay. Sure. Whatever. But moving on. Where was I? Excuse me. And we're old enough to remember when the Russian threat was real. And now it's real again. All right, that reminds me of something else I did find. I think I was at work yesterday when I saw this. Let's see if I can at least read it to you. Okay. Shit. Maybe it's... That wasn't it. All right. Well, I'm sorry. I did lose something the last couple of days. Really? Oh. Okay. Moving right along, folks. The idea that Russia is suddenly going to say, no, actually, we're sorry. We didn't mean to cause all this chaos and drama. It's not realistic. Right now, there's a coup going on in Niger. It's being supported by Russia, but, very mysteriously, we see the hand of Iran in this one, too. The coup supporters are Islamist terrorists. The people that Nigeria has been fighting for the last 8, 10 years, something like that. And now all of a sudden, the military, first of all, this is a junta, not a coup, but moving on. Now all of a sudden, the junta supporters just happen to be supported by Iran as well. The coup supporter, or the junta's supporters, are almost all the Islamist terrorist groups, or their and their supporters. And the terrorists, hey Sapient, the terrorist groups were all supported by Iran, 100% by Iran. I'm just saying. It seems very, very strange that name keeps coming up over and over and over again. Oh, congratulations. I have a granddaughter that I may never meet. But that's okay. Someday she's going to find out. Someday she's going to find out that mommy got lied to by grandma about grandpa. And she got to meet her great-grandfather. So, not totally in the dust. Sorry, guys. I do sometimes get distracted by the most interesting things. Okay. All right, moving on. We love you, Susan. You cunt. Well, I feel like I'm kind of dragging it out. So you know what? I'm going to do something I don't normally do. Yep, that would be it. All right. If you follow that link, first of all, be sober. Be sober and put a username that I'll at least understand why you're here. I may not know who you are, but I'll at least understand why you're here. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I could do that. So, while I'm waiting for somebody to come in, I am going to stop the screen for a moment and see if I can pull it up. Yeah. All right, guys, bear with me. It's going to take a couple tries because I am not what you call a professional.
It's so fun.
Okay. Present. Share screen. Window. Media player. Okay, there we go. Hide that so I can see the fucking buttons, assholes.
It's so funny that people who hate Trump are apologizing to the Iranian people for killing their general. People, that's not their general. People don't like him. He's been killing people for the past decade. He's a terrorist. You don't apologize for killing a terrorist. And the news is not telling you that because they just want to hate Trump. They don't want to believe that he's doing something right and he's going to bring peace back to Iran.
Okay, if anybody knows who this is, what I know, she identified herself as Mina. She was on Twitter, but they suspended her account. If you know who this is, tell me. I really want to find this lady again. That woman is a little too smart for my good. All right, the other one. Oh, damn it. It's only on my phone, isn't it? Yeah, that one's only on my phone. Son of a bitch. Well, I can give you the link anyway. Fuck it. Preset. Share screen. There we go. Oh. Don't hit that button. Wait, no, I don't want that one. I want the other one. That one. Make sure I got the right one. Whenever you're willing to open that link, just, God forbid, you should do what I want. I'm the human, you're the computer. There you go. Fucking assholes. All right. I'm glad I don't have Twitter anymore Buckle, and I really wish I didn't have Instagram. That was a mistake. All right. Sorry, guys. No, okay. Some bitch I know. For those of you that remember the Maiden Gate scandal, that's her. And she is not as popular in leftist circles as she once upon a time was. So at least give her a look. All right. She called me her buddy. Which I thought was very strange because everybody knows I ain't got no damn friends. I ain't got no damn friends. Everybody fucking hates me. What are you talking about? She called me your buddy, and that was very sweet of her. Oh, actually, Buckle Bunny. I think she was on Getter, and I know she's on. That's how I found her, is Gab. Yes, I know, but Gab won that war. So okay. I had started following Mindy Robinson. Mindy went off on some sort of form of mental illness or something. I don't know what the hell's going on with her. But I finally walked away when she started standing on the bodies of dead babies. Yeah, that happened. So, but by then, Mindy had reposted L several times, and I was like, okay, who is this lady? All right, she's cool. I'm going to start following her. And now I don't show up at every stream, but I do try to show up when I can. She called me her buddy. Very, very conflicted about that statement. Moving on. All right. Ooh. Shit. No. Yes. All right. So everybody should be aware by now that we have the what is it? The 2023 bingo calendar. The stories of every month to the one that came up and distracted the masses. This August. Is it August? Sorry, guys. Yes, August is aliens. All right. How do I put this politely? I don't give a fuck about your aliens. Oh, yes, that's exactly how you don't do it. I don't give a fuck about the aliens. I don't give a fuck about the investigation or the hearings. I don't actually know what the hell is going on because it doesn't matter. At this point, it is just intended to distract everybody from everything, up to and including what's going on that Joe had absolutely every way of controlling and chose not to, including pissing off one of our most important foreign allies. Bitch. Calm down there, Nixon head. Or is it head of Nixon? Yeah, whatever. You know what I meant. That's a Futurama reference. Actually, Sapien may not know that one. Moving on. It's just a distraction to the fact that everything's going to shit. They can't seem to get containment on the situation. So let's distract the people by, what are these hearings about again? I forgot. Do not allow yourself to be distracted by this bullshit. Another example of the bullshit is all of the drama and reading and autism that's coming out of a certain film that just hit the theaters. Right? They're trying to keep you distracted by getting all upset so that both sides can fight about this stupid girls movie. It is that simple. It's a stupid girls movie. It's meant for 4 to 12-year-old girls. That's the market. That's the audience. To some degree, their mothers. All right? That's it. Let the little girls go watch the fucking movie. All right? Worry about something that's important. There. Is that simple enough? Let the little girls go watch the movie. Worry about something that's important. What's up? Okay. All right. Buckle Bunny says that she's seen a triangle-shaped UFO. What you probably saw was a B-2 Lancer bomber. You know, I'm going to go there a little bit. Unidentified flying object just means you don't know what it was. If it doesn't appear on radar, and it's just a triangular object, it's unidentifiable to you, isn't it? And what is a stealth bomber? It's stealth. It doesn't appear on radar. Gee, who would have thought the two concepts would go together, huh? That's what 90% of those things are. Excuse me. I've seen a UFO too. Yeah, I've seen one in a location where we were specifically prohibited from photographing anything in the air. San Clemente. Right? We were told specifically, do not photograph anything in the air. And you know what? We took that to heart. I took it to heart. I didn't photograph anything the entire time I was there, including myself and my shipmates. Not that hard a concept to obey, especially since I didn't have a camera at the time. I didn't have a camera at the time. What do you know? It's really easy to make people think the situation is what it isn't if you know how to manipulate the situation, especially beforehand. On that note, the fuck with it. I was there because there was a Liberian tanked flagged vessel that had an engine room fire. As part of the recovery efforts to get the ship underway again, they pulled in behind the island, into the lee of the island, so that they could get some people on board who could repair the ship. And as part of that effort, the effort to save the ship, they put some containers off. A few containers to make her just light enough that she can make it back into port. At least one of those containers was the residue of Saddam's chemical weapon program. Now, it wasn't the actual chemical weapons. It was the residues, the waste product from making VX and sarin and all the other shit he was making out there. And it was packed away in no particular quantity. it was, well, it was put into 50-gallon drums in no particular order. So when that container broke open and those 50-gallon drums came crashing out and smashing into each other and dumping this shit everywhere, God knows what kind of witch's brew they made. Had the equipment not failed, that caused the container to break open. Right? That's what happened. A piece of equipment failed. I don't even know what piece of equipment. I don't care. It doesn't matter now. Had that piece of equipment not failed, the whole world would have continued on thinking that this was just a Liberian freighter had an engine room fire. Wow, how surprising! A Liberian ship. It can't be managed properly. Who'd have seen that coming? Who could have possibly thought of that could ever happen? Had an engine room fire. They put off a couple of containers. Who cares? You know, they pay a small sum of money to the owners of the product that didn't get shipped. No big deal. Now you guys know. Well, yeah, no, that's how they smuggled Saddam's chemical weapons program literally out of the country, right through everybody's noses. Now, I'm not sure all of the details of this situation. Was it a container that was marked one way, even though as being from one port to another port, even though it actually got brought in at one place and it's going to be dropped off at another? You know, it's neither one of the first two cities, you know, marked from, say, Cairo, Egypt to San Francisco, California, but it actually got picked up in Baghdad and it's getting dropped off in Seattle. I don't know. I don't care. Doesn't matter now. Buckle Bunny is really particular about this UFO she saw. I'm still going to assume that it was a human craft of some sort. All right, so a little bit of that weirdo Carrie shit coming out here. I think we do have anti-grav pods. I don't think they work the way we hope they do, or there's something not right, and that's why they are not going any degree of mainstream. But excuse me. I think we've figured out how to make anti-grav pods work to one degree or another, and that might have been what you saw. I also believe we have a faster-than-light drive ship, IXS Enterprise, and that she's made a round trip. To where? I don't know. But outside the solar system, for sure. There, I said it. I think Enterprise does exist, and she's made a round trip. Why are they keeping it secret? I don't know. I don't know. I don't care. It's not actually relevant here. It might be as simple as, yeah, we met ET and we're told, go home or we will kill you. SDF when? SDF 1 was 1999 there, Sapien. I think it was 1999, rather. And 2011 was the genocide of the Zentradi. You know, you win some, you lose some. Yeah, actually, I still think Buckle Bunny says, I'm not crazy. I was not drinking and I've never used drugs. I know what I've seen. And she's probably, well, I mean, she's right. I assume she was not drinking and I assume she never used drugs. And she knows what she's seen. That's not in question. Oh. She thinks it was the government messing with us. Yeah, I don't know if I believe they were necessarily messing with us. I think it was some sort of project that they don't want to talk about yet. You know, like they didn't talk about the SR-71 until the plane had been flying for 10 years. Sapien, I can't help you there. I'm sorry. So, yeah. Now, I'm not sure what I believe about extraterrestrial intelligent life one way or another. But I goddamn know they haven't come here bothering us. That didn't happen. These lights in the skies, they're human-built craft. They're not telling us why for one reason or another. And it may not necessarily be a nefarious reason. It might just be that they don't want to tell us. Believe it or not, nobody knew about Tacit Blue outside of the top secret aerospace community until, what was it? A couple years before the SR-71 was retired, I think. Tacit Blue flew something like 10 years before the SR-71 did. You know, but nobody knew anything about it. Okay, Sapien. Well, you can still listen in. Michael says they have advanced stuff we have no knowledge about. You wouldn't believe. I can't even find Area 51 on a survey. All right, I just know it's down in Nevada. Well, down in southern Nevada somewhere, or is it in Arizona? One way or the other. It's down south of here somewhere. Even I have some idea what's back there, and nobody really knows. I don't even think the people that work there know. And Ozzy says UFOs are a distraction, and that's where actually I started. So I should probably Groom Lake, Nevada. Right, he's right. Groom Lake. It's here in Nevada. Fuck me. Ozzy, I didn't have much to talk about, so I started talking shit. And that led me down this strange little garden path into aliens. Ancient fucking aliens. Sapien, whatever you're doing, please focus on that and maybe listen in only. Okay? If you're wearing hazmat gloves, there's a reason. Oh, yeah, actually, you're right. You hit the enter button too quickly there, Ozzy. We don't worry about spelling too much around here. Don't worry about it. Okay. little side project that I've been working on. I've been trying to get somebody to help me develop a gas cutoff valve for the SKS rifles. If we can successfully do that, we can replicate it on. Shit. Give me a second here, folks. I gotta turn the camera off for a second. There we go. If we can get SKS gas blocks with a cutoff valve successfully developed, then we might be able to repeat it for ARs, AKs, etc. Yeah, that's no, Ozzy, because of the paradox. You can't go back in time because you can't change history. If you do change history, you cease to exist, which means you can't go back in time to change history. It's a fun thought, but no, it's never actually going to happen. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so there's my crazy conspiracy theory shit. We have a faster than light ship. It may have only made one round trip, and it may only be a test platform, but she made a round trip. I believe we have anti-grav technology. We just don't quite fully understand it yet. There's some reason why they're keeping it secret. They're keeping it under wraps. It might be that the energy fluctuations that they create are so profound that they alter the DNA of the crew, turn them into puddling goo, piles of puddling goo. I don't know. It may be that they're just trying to keep it secret for other reasons. Maybe everything's working perfectly, but they don't want to talk about it because what? I don't know. We won't know for a long time. No, guys, no. '88, man, that was a year. Okay, moving on. All right, guys. Oof. Well, that's a good reason by itself. Don't show your hand before you need to. Maybe they just don't want to show their hand because they don't have to yet. There's no requirement. What's the rush? That's a legitimate answer, people. All right. So we're at an hour and a half, a little over. I think maybe we're going to wrap this one up a couple minutes early. Whoops. What was I about? Oh, I used to do a get home bag piece. As a matter of fact, I think Buckle was here when somebody made fun of me for, quote, the cover up. Oop, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. Anyway. Water, 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 always water. Have a water bottle on your desk or at your station or whatever at work. Refill it once a week if you have to. Always have that water on you. Have access to $20 in quarters. Vending machines will always take quarters. Payphones, if you ever find one, will take quarters. Not all vending machines use electricity. So if you can find a vending machine that doesn't require electricity and they've got snacks in there, of course, it's also kind of a question of, at that point, does it matter if you smash in the glass? Maybe, maybe not. But there's a, I'm going to actually switch the chat around. No. Oops, not that one. Oof. There we go. Did that help any? No, that did not. So, okay. There's a red backpack you can pick up at Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, sometimes at Ace, half a dozen other places. In it, make sure I have the right side out. Yeah. It's this big ass packet. This is described as one man, one day. This is actually a lot more than you need for your get home kit. But the same company that sells these sells them online, along with a lot of other stuff. They offer a, I think it's 800 calorie. Shit. Yeah. 800 calorie packet. It's a little bit bigger than a granola bar. It'll fit into a purse. You need to have some energy in you, no matter what. Now, this is not haute cuisine, all right? You order a half a dozen of the 800 calorie packets. Let me rephrase that. Order one every other month. They're not that expensive. When the new one comes in, eat the old one as a snack over a couple days. It smells like bread or it smells like peanut butter and tastes like bread. They described it as not thirst causing. So to test it, one of the other packets that came with this one, I ate like a square. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but you can feel that there's supposed to be a square right here. That's supposedly a meal. I ate a whole square, and I set a timer. If it could go 30 minutes without me needing to drink, I'd consider it having passed the test. Well, by goddamn, 30 minutes later, my alarm went off, and I didn't need to get a drink. I felt fine. Matter of fact, I just decided to see how long I could go. After another 30 minutes, I was like, you know what? Now we're at an hour. I just want some water now. Is it the food or is it me? Well, it's probably me. Passed the test. Having a couple of the 800 packet or 800 calorie packets, you have to have the energy to get home. It's as simple as that. Now, if you go into a gas station and you just take a half dozen snack bars and a couple bottles of water because it's a crisis, right? Remember, there's going to be a reckoning later. You're going to be in a whole lot less trouble than you could have been. There will be a reckoning later. You're going to be held accountable for that. Don't touch the alcohol and don't touch the cigarettes unless you are fully prepared to pay for them. Thank you for coming, Buckle. Ozzy asks, if you were really desperate, would you take the Mounds bar? No, I am allergic to coconut. And he points out there's a place that sells 5-gallon pails with pre-made meals, lasts 20 years. Yeah, I know. Those are for when you get home. This is before you get home. What do you need to do in order to get home? All right. And Sapien says, don't be a looter. You cannot be judged by 12 if you're going to be carried by 6. Or 2 in the case of a corner, if you're lucky. On the other hand, I recommend against it to the greatest possible extent. Redo that. And Buckle points out that she doesn't smoke, but I do. I have special advice for smokers in that regard. Actually, I have special advice for everybody in that regard. First of all, smokers, keep a spare pack at your desk, at your station, at your whatever. Every Monday when you come in, swap them out. Right? You picked up a pack. Take this last week's pack out. Put this week's pack in. Work on last week's pack this week. There you go. Now you have a spare pack in your desk or whatever. You non-smokers like Buckle Bunny, go out and get a pack of cigarettes. Not even joking. Once a week, you pick up a pack of cigarettes. You leave that at your station or your desk or whatever, right? You take last week's pack and you give it to one of your smoker co-workers. They'll take it. They'll say thank you. You're a wonderful, beautiful person. I love you. You gave me a free pack of cigarettes. Well, no. Crisis starts. You take that pack of cigarettes that you picked up this week, and you can use that as major barter as you run through checkpoints. Now, police and military checkpoints, you're not going to work as good, but that's when your ID comes in very, very handy. If you're headed in a reasonable direction to get home, police and military checkpoints will let you through, generally speaking. They might say, no, you have to go this other route. Okay. Non-police and military checkpoints may or may not let you through quietly. A good way to get past the guard, offer him a couple cigarettes. He'll let you through each and every time. Right? On that note, before you leave, before you start heading home, take a couple cigarettes out of the pack, toss them in the trash, give them to a coworker, smoker, coworker, whatever. Buckle Bunny, because she is a female. Put them in your bra. That'll crush them up a little bit and make them look like you didn't just get them from a gas station 20 minutes ago. No, Ozzy, we're not talking about fleeing the city yet. That's a bug out. For right now, we're talking about get home. Go from work, from school, from wherever, just to the place where you sleep at night. And then you can focus on bugging out of the city or whatever. Okay. I'm going to highlight this comment. All right. So earlier, Sapien had said, don't be a looter. I'm referring to the line between taking what you need and the bare minimum that you need and just being a criminal opportunist. And there is a huge difference. You will get in trouble for taking 3 bottles of Dasani and a half a dozen Nature Valley granola bars. You're going to be in trouble for that. All right? But it's huge difference between taking a half a dozen bottles of Dasani and a half a dozen Nature Valley granola bars and backing a U-Haul up to the store and loading it up. I cannot emphasize the difference between those two concepts enough. We'll probably end up having taken a couple of snack bars and some water. Probably end up just being told, well, you know what? You owe the store $35.75. You going to pay or are you going to go to jail? Just pay it then. Just pay it. Don't worry about it. Good luck doing the bug out in your electric vehicle. Yeah, I got an electric vehicle back. Oh, Jesus Christ. I wish Kyle was here. She remembers something about that. It was after A school, but before I got married. Around 2006 or 7, tried taking an electric vehicle across country. Started out in Sacramento. I got somewhere in Reno, and everything just went to shit. The whole plan fell apart. Ended up having to get a tow truck. And this was with charging the vehicle overnight. I'm just saying. And yes, leave the lotto tickets. I've never even heard of Project Zomboid, Sapien. I have no idea what you're talking about. You probably don't want me to try it because I took the zombie survivor test and passed with the highest possible flying colors. I have actually read the United States military's zombie prep plan. Okay, I read the first paragraph. I never got around to reading the rest of it. Yeah, I probably forgotten more about the subject than they've ever going to learn. Isometric hardcore survival sim. Oh. Okay. Swimming is a very useful skill. I ever had to bug out of Reno, I would have to swim at least once to get where I'm going, which is Papa Carey's place, by the way. I would have to swim at least once because I guarantee you at least one set of bridges between the two of us would be gone. I don't know if it would be the 44 South Bonneview or what's the other bridge? Oh, Cypress Bridge. One of them would be out. And chances are real good that that'd be just the moment when I tried to cross. Yes, zombies can, in fact, swim. Ozzy, Land of the Dead proved that. Where is Mitakaya when I really need her? Hope Springs Eternal. No, not really. Bottle that shit up and save it for later. Okay. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up here. Quick recap. Iran is still the most dangerous country on earth and is run by a satanic cult. Yes, I know, but I'm going to say it until hell freezes over. God does. FPF won a battle again. Damn shame that they can't return a call or an email or anything. But whatever. UFOs are real. Nobody cares. It's that scene from Jurassic Park. Everybody, UFOs are real. UFOs are real. See, nobody gives a shit. Water for your get home kit, get home bag. And I don't have permission to use the company's name. So all I can say is go to a hardware store, find one of those red survival bags. The company in question is there, except for Sapient. Sapient, I'm going to contact you separately. You probably would be better off going with a different supplier, but at least you'll have an idea of what kind of thing you're looking for. And okay. Uh-oh. Everybody, Ozzy cannot swim. I don't know how to teach you how to swim, bud. How do I put this? Ozzy, you might have to add inflatable life vest to your get home kit if you have a danger of crossing water to get home in a crisis. And that's definitely a pain in the ass, and I'm sorry. It is what it is. Yeah, Sapien, I'm going to contact you separately about just that. All right. Specialized gas blocks for SKSs. The Romanian SKS had a gas cutout valve built in because they had a rifle grenade attachment. I don't know why everybody else didn't do that, but anyway, it is what it is too. And in the meantime, politicians lie. And it's not the only thing they're capable of, but that's the majority. Iran created the COVID, and keep calm and mandatory carry on. Oh, I'm sorry, one more thing. There will not be a regular stream next week. It will be an upload because I am interviewing Mr. Guest. It'll be this weekend, and it is a closed interview. But we will upload the highlights. All right, keep calm and mandatory carry on.